go across to Bangalore, where Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, chairperson of Biocon, now joins us, and clearly one of the most credible faces of corporate India. Mr. Shaw, good to have you here on the show. Your initial reactions to the Modi government's first full rail budget. Is it a budget that we can call a reform-oriented one?
I think it's been an excellent budget in terms of how the Railway Minister has basically used his fiscal innovativeness to come out with a very well thought out budget, a very balanced budget. I think he's very clearly articulated the roadmap that he sees in terms of both investment and revenue generation, because I think you must understand that the railway today, under the Make in India sort of agenda that we have set for ourselves, has a very, very important and integral role to play in terms of logistics. So, creating that a special PSU, Transloc, to really provide that end-to-end logistics is also going to be very, very important and a good revenue generator also for the railways. In addition to that, I think he's talked about, and I think Vivek just alluded to it, the outlay that he has of 850,
8.5 lakh crore.
1,000 lakh.
Right.
Sorry, 8.5 lakh
crore over 5 years.
That he has actually outlaid is really, really important, because he's actually talked about how he is going to tap various resources and funds to really make this possible. I also believe that he has, of course, spelt out the model for private participation. Again, I think the devil is in the detail. But I think the whole aspect of privatization also needs to be looked at.
Okay, that he's made it very clear, saying that this is
how are we going to find
this is a national asset. It will continue to be owned by people of India. So in many ways, any noises around privatization, he's put to rest, at the same time saying that yes, private sector participation in modernizing stations and last mile connectivity is important. Mr. Shaw, we've seen the stock markets clearly slipping, and they continue to slip and extend losses as we speak. If we could quickly pull up the Sensex and Nifty, clearly markets not giving a thumbs up as yet to the rail minister. Are we waiting for more details in the fine print? Do you think it's been a bit of a disappointment in terms of clearly outlining the way forward in terms of turning it around financially and greater private participation? Do you think that's the missing piece right now?
I think yes. I think they haven't spelt out the actual opportunity for private sector, in terms of size and scale. I think there hasn't been enough clarity about what is the kind of investments that are going to be made in terms of, say, line extensions, in terms of upgradation of various aspects of the railway infrastructure. When he talks about high-speed corridors, how is it going to be done? I think overall, I get a sense that we need to see the real details of how we are going to get there. So I think one important thing, as you've seen, the people have welcomed, is that the rail fares haven't been increased thanks to the oil prices tanking, to use the pun that also Mr. Prabhu has been using in his speech. But overall, I think it's a pretty good budget, considering the fact that he's had to deal with a very fiscally challenged railways, which has made it very difficult for him to actually, pull out all the rabbits out of the hat.
Right. Mr. Shaw, quick word from you as an industry spokesperson on really the impatience now building within corporate India with regard to the Modi government. You've got the likes of Mr. Deepak Parekh saying, things haven't changed on the ground in the last 9 months. There's been no systemic change as far as ease of doing business is concerned. And that's why also the union budget that the finance minister will announce on Saturday, the importance of that. Also, if you could quickly give us your comments on what Mr. Parekh had to say about the performance of the Modi government in the first 9 months.
Well, certainly I think impatience is setting in a big way, because obviously now everything rests on the budget and what the budget has in store for us, because I think everyone has given time to this government to really understand what the challenges are. see what the fiscal situation of the country is. And, you know, we have given all the time that they require now to really come up with a good budget, which is very growth oriented. I think we've heard a lot of very positive signals and directional messaging from the government. But I think now we need to see some action. And I think that's what this budget is now anticipated to deliver. I think we are all very focused and certainly very convinced that India has a big opportunity in manufacturing, in the services sector, in infrastructure development and in R&D. But we need to see what is it that the government is going to announce in terms of Make in India, Innovate in India, and I also believe Start in India, because I think startups are going to be extremely important as well for the future of this economy.
Right, we expect a big push really to startups in the budget. A quick word before we wrap up with you, Mrs. Shaw. You tweeted this morning about the land acquisition bill, specifically over the politics over the land acquisition bill. What would you say to critics who are really calling some of the provisions there anti-farmer and say that this is a government that's working only for the corporates?
You know, unfortunately, many of these critics have actually said just the opposite when they were in positions of power. And I think really this debate is about, are you going to change the economic model and go, you know, see if you can take it away from subsistence farming into industrial activity. I think farmers definitely need to be given that kind of a growth opportunity.
Right.
And let's not kid ourselves. The job challenge that we have in this country is absolutely daunting. And nothing is going to happen with incremental changes.